eastwards, Bane. Bearing eastwards, Bane. Bearing eastwards, Bane. I am Magdalene, I prize Zechariah, sealed text with scholars' sight to scan the lines where judgment claws the land and question every feathered form, claimed in ancient flight. I trace the chariots of fire in 178 with wary might to gauge if Zechariah's vision stems from heaven's throne or mortal night. Each winged symbol placed to test our faith in phantom flight. I chart the scroll unleashed in 1:8 that drapes the earth in curses cold and bright, then weigh its words against the wind's own roar to see if plague of plume endures beyond its first swift flight. I note the twin-winged women of 5'9" stepping eastward under twilight's light as stalks of omen bearing doom and dread to prove their presence more than whispered plight on fields laid waste by borrowed flight. I sense the shudder in the barren grain at Zechariah's plight when feathered breath descends to stalk our hopes and prove the curse is more than mortal spite, masquerading as divine flight. I scan the ashen script in 5:9-11 whose lines instruct the sisters to inscribe our fate, then carry scroll and carcass east where no man stands to test their chosen height against the sky's embrace of flight. I pry each reference word in Zech 2:1-2 where measuring line reveals the span of future wars and ask if winged sentries truly stand to guard the gates in mortal sight or only haunt the prophet's restless night. Their boundless wings mere mythic flight. I weigh the witness of the prophet's pen and probe each phrase in 2, 3, 4 that hints at watchers poised to chase the measuring rod across the ledge of human sight, yet find no trace of plumèd form to validate such urgent flight. I delve into margins, clip refrain where scribes inscribe the sisters call to bear the curse beyond the gate and bind our fate in clay so chest until the sequins from Judah's heart to Babylon ignites the dust with torn and torture flight. I pry apart the gilded glyphs that gild the curse in hallowed scroll to test their worth against the heft of reason's fear, demanding proof in shard of bone or quill that might affirm the myth of winged plight and bring the vision into verifiable flight. I storm the fortress of those ancient halls where Zechariah's words proclaim the sisters task in fearful thrall and bear the seed of skeptics blade to cleave the veil of legend's might until the twin harbingers disclose their form in open sight or vanish back to phantasmal night beyond our grasp and cease their ceaseless flight. I hold the harvest withered sheaves to memory's sight and stand unmoved by pious plea that claims the plague is proof of providence when shadows lift to find no wings alight on earth or sky to show the curse of flight. I sift the syntax of the sacred cry and pry each syllable until the cry of doom dissolves in brightness bright and yields no mortal seal to bind the wings that once were bound to script and scroll but never held to human touch or sight despite the prophet's vivid flight. I conclude that Zechariah's winged women stand as echoes wrought in metaphor, a myth whose silent forms are meant to heighten dread and drive the faithful blind through endless night to crave the dawn of reason's light above the pale remains of plume delight and endless empty flight. Bearing eastwards, Bane. Bearing eastwards, Bane. Bearing eastwards, Bane. Bearing eastwards, Bane. Bearing eastwards, Bane.